free, but it was much cheaper than what
What's
you
this?
recorded inside doing whatever.
No, I recorded inside IHOP.
And
The manager was like, "What are you doing?" But anyway,
but also doing.
so we got some folks out there that are trying to prepare themselves for, honestly, the biggest question and comment that I get a lot is the dollar is going to crash, basically. There's very low, almost zero confidence in the dollar, and people should be preparing themselves for the crash of the dollar. And with that being said, it's like, well, where's your stored value? What are you going to use to barter? Where should I move money in savings? What investments should I be making? Oftentimes you get recommendations of gold, recommendations of silver, recommendations of weapons and firearms and ammunition, recommendations of bourbon, Scotch whiskey, whatever you want to call it. And then, some folks would say, hey, you should just stock up on food, stock up on the things you're going to use and buy them now, today, so you don't have to then barter for them later. But that's neither here nor there. I personally like investing in a lot of different things. And, I invested in, I put this on a previous video, I invested in automobiles heavily and made a fair amount of money by the change in the automotive industry and the automotive market, primarily due to the huge spike in demand, limited supply, semiconductors, chip shortages, and it was a great investment. And I put up a poll today and I asked, what do you guys think is the better investment, the best investment, stored value? What's going to be worth more tomorrow than what you put into it today, especially if you think the dollar is going to collapse? And the options were gold, silver, Bitcoin, which cryptocurrency, that's a whole nother conversation that we're not going to have today. But then last but not least, Rolex. Now, you have experience in the luxury watch market, the Rolex market, which right now you can't just walk into a Rolex store and buy a Rolex watch. And if you wanted to get a Rolex watch today, absolutely had to have it today, what would be your only option for getting one today?
Secondhand market.
The secondhand, secondary market, used. Now, with that being said, what kind of price are you going to pay for a used Rolex?
Depending on the model, depending on how old it is, most likely 50 to 80% higher than what it goes for retail.
So you're telling me that somebody went out, purchased a Rolex watch, a luxury a steel sports watch, bought it, who knows, a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago. And if I want it today, I have to buy it used from them and pay almost 80%, if not more, than what they paid for it.
Correct.
And it's used.
Correct.
And with that being said, if you could buy one today, how much would Rolex charge you? What kind of premium would Rolex charge you today if you could buy one?
Depending on the watch, if you're buying a standard Submariner, 10,000.
Is that marked up from their normal price?
That is retail, that is on the website. It goes across to every single person that purchases a Submariner. It's on the website. That's what you're going to pay when you walk into an authorized dealer.
So you're telling me that somebody purchased a Submariner Rolex, which is what you have here, and they bought it 2, 3, 4 years ago. They paid retail price. If I wanted to buy it off of them today, for the fact that you can't just go buy one, they're going to charge about an 80% markup. Ultimately, if we were to extrapolate that and apply it to this particular, let's just round the number to 10 grand. You're telling me that you could sell this watch for $18,000?
That is currently on the secondhand market through large websites that sell the Submariner and Rolex used. The exact same model, 2022, they're going for 18 to 19,000, and that's with what everybody calls the Rolex market has taken a huge dump and it's 30% less than what it was.
So I mean that even with just inflation alone, I'd almost would rather put my money into this investment vehicle for the one immediate return I could get, and two, the growth potential that I would have the longer I kept it versus keeping my money in the bank. But also, let's compare it to gold. How easy, because a lot of people say, buy gold, invest in gold. How easy would it be to get your money out of gold, do you think?
How are you more valuable than the next guy that has a gold brick?
And how many other people are willing to buy said gold brick, especially for the fact that I can go buy gold right now. You know what I can't go buy right now?
A Rolex.
Exactly. So it's already got high demand with limited supply, increasing its value literally by the sweeping hand second in comparison to gold. Now let's just say Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. You can invest in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. This is the wave of the future, decentralized currency, yada yada yada. But here's the thing: if I wanted to take this Rolex that I've invested in, you've invested in, if anyone who owned a Rolex wristwatch, regardless of the model, Submariner, Yachtmaster, GMT Master 2, Sea Dweller, Presidential, you could pretty much just walk down the street and tap someone on their shoulder if they'd want to buy it for a premium, and more than likely one out of five would probably say yes.
I agree 100% with that.
In comparison, if you were to invest in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, who's accepting that?
I don't know anybody that's currently asking for one of the most volatile items on the market right now. That's just me. Everybody can do whatever they want with their own money, but I just don't see it.
Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is the big one. And it had a great name, and everybody was loving it as it was going to the moon and is nearing $60,000, like great investment. But you know what the difference between Bitcoin and Rolex is? Is that one day Bitcoin is worth $50,000 and the next day it's worth 20. Whereas one day this is worth $10,000 and the next day it's worth more than $10,000. And honestly, the fluctuation is probably never going to creep back to what you could have bought it for brand new.
Accurate. And when you buy Bitcoin, what are you buying? You're buying nothing. You're buying an invisible item that everybody keeps telling you is worth something. When you buy that Rolex, you bought a tangible item that you're holding on to. The same thing as gold and silver. With Bitcoin, there's nothing there. You're grabbing air.
Now, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm not telling you where to put your money. But I am saying that I would put my money into a Rolex if I could buy one from an authorized Rolex dealer. If I could buy a Rolex from an AD for retail price, I would, without hesitation, spend that money immediately, knowing that the very next second I own this pre-owned luxury sports watch, this steel sports watch, it would be worth more than what I just paid for it, especially for the fact that I was able to get one when it's on a wait list. It's on an international wait list. You can't even pre-order it. You have to be selected and chosen and called upon and offered the opportunity to buy said Rolex, okay? Now, with that being said, you're like, well, Kevin, why would you say something like that when you can't even get it? Well, the reason why I would say that is for the simple fact that you have one. When did you get this watch?
About 2 months ago.
About 2 months ago. And 2 months ago you received this watch. How long did you wait before you had the ability to buy this watch?
About 2 months.
So 2 months ago you bought a watch that you waited 2 months to get, that most people are probably being told they have to wait how long?
About 2 years.
2 years. So you took the high demand, low supply investment of the sports steel luxury wristwatch, this Rolex Submariner, which is a 4-line. Is it 3-line or 4-line?
This is a 4-line.
This is a 4-line?
4-line.
All right, so you were able to get what most would walk into a Rolex authorized dealer and be told, wait 2 years. You waited 2 months and you got it.
Accurate.
And so, with that being said, can you tell someone else how they could get one?
If you make the right moves and you know what to do, absolutely. Yeah.
So, you have a channel. It's called 41 Millimeter Lewis. I'm going to put the link in the description so you guys can check it out. If you want to know more about Lewis's Rolex Submariner here, if you want to know more about how to develop the opportunity for you to make an investment in a luxury wristwatch as highly sought after and in demand as the probably least expensive entry-level option for a 41 millimeter Rolex
And a sports watch.
yeah. And a sports watch. If you know, one of the pinnacle automatic sweeping movements out there that is going to hold its value, and I would eat my words if it didn't. Come back and say, Kevin, you were wrong. I'm waiting for that day. But if you wanted to know how to do that, I'm gonna put a link in the description. You guys go check him out, 41 millimeter Lewis, and he's got video. You have a video up now about how to beat the wait list, how to avoid the 2-year wait period, and as well as other videos that you're working on more on the Rolex, but also other watches that you have in your collection, which include.
I've got 2 Speedmasters. I got a vintage Speedmaster. I got a new Speedmaster Moonwatch, and I also have a Luminox 1801.
And would you say that of those, are they also appreciating too? Not maybe the same rate of appreciation as Rolex, but are they appreciating in value?
Yes, they are.
Now, let's just say, for instance, shit were to hit the fan, and you needed money. You needed money to go pay a bill, pay your mortgage, buy food, groceries, or whatever. Who knows? You needed money. How hard and or easy do you think it would be to convert your investments, to convert your luxury wristwatches, to convert this Rolex Submariner sports watch into a currency, whether it be the dollar or whatever form of currency we're going to use? How easy do you think that would be for you to do?
Easily. If you know people with a Rolex, I'm sure that one of those Rolex friends that you have would quickly purchase your watch from you.
So, I mean, look, like I said, not financial advice. I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm just sharing some information with you from a friend, as a friend, to my family. You know, I call you guys my family. And if y'all want to learn more about how you can diversify your investments and put yourself in positions to gain and increase your wealth and build out your portfolio, at the same time, you know, enjoying some of these luxuries. I mean, we got houses here behind us here on the water as we're cruising down the intercoastal, and the beauty of these investments is that they get to reap the benefits of them and realize them today, while they're continuously appreciating in value, and then they move on and then they sell those assets and take those profits and those gains and move on to even bigger and better investments. So if you guys want to know more about that, I'm gonna put the link in the description to check out 41 millimeter Lewis, and maybe we'll have you back on the channel again at some point as we go over some more ins and outs of the Rolex market, maintenance, the secondhand market, getting on future wait lists, but also beating the estimated and the standard wait times that everyone else is faced with, as well as other watches that you're going to be adding to your collection.
We're looking forward to it.
So yeah, you guys check them out, 41 millimeter Lewis. I'll put the link in the description. And for anybody out there who's like completely against Rolex and against investing in general and against making money, please just don't comment. We don't need the negativity. Please just ignore everything we just talked about. For those of you who are for it or interested in learning more, that's what we're about. We want to help So I'm looking forward to having these conversations and talking with you guys about it. But again, 41 millimeter Lewis, check them out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.